Hi, I'm Jim Gordon here at the Market One Studios with a special guest today. He is a broadcaster. He does radio, TV. He's an actor, producer, writer. His radio show, Strombo, is heard in 165 countries, courtesy of Apple. George Stroumboulopoulos joins us here in Vancouver. Great to see you, sir.
Nice to see you, man. How are you?
Long time no see, actually.
Indeed. I'm glad you clarified what we're doing, because right now I feel like I'm in an interrogation room and you're my attorney, and I'm clearly not dressed for the room. But it's nice
this is me dressing down. I sleep in a suit and tie.
This is me dressing up.
Okay. It's great to have you here. We're in Vancouver. Of course, you've been a big part of the Whistler Film Festival for years and years. You're heading up there. You're getting an award. We'll get to that. But as a guy who has been a part of the festival for 2 decades, it started in '01. Talk a bit about how you've seen this festival grow and help filmmakers and actors who come to the festival. A
long time ago when I was doing the talk show on CBC, I was approached and said, hey, listen, Whistler Film Festival celebrating its 5th anniversary. What do you think about going up to Whistler and doing your show from there?
Yeah.
And the idea of doing it from a lodge, the mountain in the background, all that, I was 100% into it.
Yeah.
And I knew a little bit about the Whistler Film Festival and that I knew it existed and stuff, but I didn't really know what the environment was like. I'd never been there for the fest. So I showed up. We did the show and I had the best time, and I love the community behind it. One of the things I've tried to do my whole career is create spaces for other people to achieve their dreams, but also connect to others. And a festival at its best is about introducing everybody to everybody else's cool work and lovely work and interesting achievements. And so I just really like the way they do it. It's small relative to TIFF or Venice, but it's not small in terms of what it can do. And some of my really good friends now in my life were connected to that festival all that time ago.
Yeah, it's interesting we were talking before camera about how filmmakers have so many avenues now thanks to festivals like this. How has, again, for someone going up there with a film for the first time, what are they experiencing that, say, people are not in those same shoes 15 years ago?
You know, now you have the ability to not just have this as an isolated event. Now the virtual reality means that what you make has a way better opportunity to be seen by people around the world. And I think that's really important. I think that festivals are still really important places for momentum to begin.
Yeah.
We live in a world of ubiquitous content, right? Everybody's making everything all the time. Everybody's phone is their own studio. Everybody's social media channel makes them their own broadcaster. So that's wonderful. But how do you sift through all that?
Right.
And how do you do it in a way where you don't feel like the gatekeepers are determining who gets known? It's about, this is who we are as a festival, these are the kinds of things we think should be seen. It's important to be about a community of filmmakers, a community of creatives.
Right.
And I think that being a part of a festival helps you build that kind of momentum that you can then take out as you take your film or your short around the world.
And it's so great, as you mentioned. I refer to it, a lot of people do, as the coolest film festival in Canada. It has maintained that intimacy. You know, you've covered TIFF for years and years, where it was that small.
Dude, I was an usher at TIFF when I was a teenager, when it was called the Festival of the Festivals. So I remember working at the festival when Dean Stockwell, one of my favorites from Paris, Texas, rest in peace, would come in, and these great actors would walk by you. And I worked a Shirley MacLaine premiere when I was 15 years old.
Can you give me 3 or 4 seconds on how that was?
Shirley MacLaine is so badass.
Yeah.
I love her. She doesn't care what anybody thinks. She just believes in her heart things are true, and I am with it. I'm here for Shirley.
You can see why she was the only female member of the Rat Pack, too.
Yeah, you don't mess with Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about some of the other work you do. I want to mention this. I've known you a long time. I didn't know that you were the first Goodwill Ambassador for the UN Agency World Food Program.
Yeah.
You're also tremendously involved in music therapy, which is leading us up to Saturday night, which is the Reunite benefit to celebrate the power of film and music. You are going to receive the inaugural Founders Award for your work. Talk a bit about what that all involves. It's going to be a heck of a night. Walk us through for our viewers out there that may not know much about this.
I'm very grateful, you know, that they thought of me in this capacity to give me this award, but I understand that it's not really about me. It's really about the values that myself and the people I've worked with for years have had, which is this is really about other people's art, and can you use whatever avenues you have or muscle you have to create places where people can see this. So I'm grateful for the acknowledgement, but I recognize that for me, I take it on as a symbol of what this is really about, which is shining a light on what other people do. You know, and it's so hard to make a film. It's so hard to make a film that just getting it done is an accomplishment. It's incredible. To get it into a film festival is incredible. So yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's real. I think I would have come up here without that, and I have. So it's going to be fun.
And it's as I said, you've been up here every year, again from way back in the beginning. You're talking about getting films made. Is that part is easier now, right? But as you alluded to, it's getting it seen.
It's it's easier in one respect that you have a phone that's a camera.
Yeah.
So I think it comes down to where you are and what you have access to. So some people don't have phones like this, smartphones. Some people don't have access to that kind of thing. Some people do. So technologically, it's easier. There has definitely been a democratization. You can edit a movie on your phone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's easy to get a film made because they're still very expensive.
Yeah.
And honestly, you have to pay. You want to pay people a fair wage. You want to protect them. You want to make them safe. Safety on sets costs money. There's all kinds of considerations. You don't shoot 18 hours. You've got to make sure that you keep it under a reasonable amount of time. So just a lot of reasons why to make a film safely is very challenging, and they're all legitimate reasons, right? Why they should be. So it's just really hard to make a film, and they're also really hard to make.
Yeah.
To write a story, writing a script that's good, casting it, getting a whole bunch of moving parts together. Why I think it's really important to celebrate filmmakers is that, as somebody who loves music intrinsically, but loves reading and writing, and I love storytelling, and I love prose, and I love photography, and I love editing, all of the disciplines come together in film. All of them do. And to me, that's why film will always be really important to me, and why being a part of this festival, I think, is really important. And it's important for people to support it, because it's not just about the film that you're watching, or if you're watching this and you have access to resources where you can fund films. It's not just about that particular movie. What you're doing is creating a space for a whole bunch of people to work.
Yeah, sure.
To work at something they love, to learn skills that they can then transfer to tell other stories. So it's not just about the one project that you're supporting or the one film that we're seeing. It's about the ripple effect of all these people who go on to build, who build storytelling for all of us. And if your culture does not support its own storytellers, I think your culture is in trouble.
Good way to put it. And
I think that this is a cool film festival for that.
You're going to be quite busy up there. We should mention you're going to be doing the Signature Series, which is always great for viewers and fans of film to sit and see somebody host, somebody talking to one of the...
Dude, I got to host I got to interview one year one of my favorite filmmakers ever, Monty Hellman, who made Two Lane Blacktop, this incredible independent film. And Shauna from the film festival said, "Would you interview Hellman?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course." So yeah, there's always a really nice conversation that happens. So, and this is important to note about the film festival. When you're interviewing, as you know, have done it, venue matters.
Yes.
Getting the person you're speaking to be kind of a little bit more relaxed and open up and tell the story. Doing it at the film festival after a couple of days of being in the mountains, everybody is just chill. Yeah,
I'm sure you agree that when I've done it, it's the joy of being able to sit and talk to somebody like I'm doing with you, but only for about an hour. So, we don't get to do that very often, right?
That's right, yeah.
You're going to be talking to a wonderful actor, producer, singer, he does it all, like you, and that's Eric McCormack. You must be excited about that. I love when I see Canadian, international entertainers, actors come home and do movies. So he's got one called Drinkwater. Talk a bit about
Which is hyper-Canadian. Drinkwater is hyper-Canadian. Eric's a great guy. I met him many years ago when he came on the old talk show, and of course he's a global superstar. But I've always liked how connected he was to where he's from, and the fact that he likes to tell these stories. I know that in the COVID world and in the travel world, festivals it's tough to get people to go places. It's become very virtual. Eric's here. It matters to him. He's also he's a great guy, and so we'll go back and forth on social media and send each other a couple of messages here and there and by text to stay in touch over the years. And I don't see him all the time, but whenever we get in the same room, you're just like, right, we're from different parts of the country, but we're same people. We're from the same kind of world, and so it's really nice. He's also, what you said is so true, he's so versatile.
Oh, the guy does everything.
He's a 5-tool player, and those kinds of guys, they're really special. They're really special.
And as I said, I'm often envious of other countries where their international actors come home to do smaller projects, right? And I'm glad to see our guys and gals are doing that, because it doesn't happen as much as it does in other countries. So
we're a relatively new country under this title, right? We have so much backstory in this country that we need to contend with. And for the longest time, the systems and how a storyteller would get funded or get a movie made was pretty narrow. We're in the time where that's starting to change a little bit. And we're going to get more and more of these stories. And we're going to have a breakout hit. This is a country that has Jeff Barnaby. Jeff Barnaby is a really interesting filmmaker and a great filmmaker. He's an ambitious filmmaker. This is a country that has Jason Eisner. either great filmmakers, Sarah Polley, Laura Vandervoort. You could see them finding different stories and finding ways to get them made. There's a lot of great storytelling here in this country, and you're going to see a lot more of these films.
Yeah, and a good diversification. That's growing too on this landscape, which is great.
What I like about where we are, and it is new, relatively speaking, is that you're seeing a far more reflective slate of stories about what this country is and who these people are, and I really like that. It's not the same for people getting all the funding envelopes to make films. It's not that's starting to change. You know, it's going to be an imperfect situation because we're a very bureaucratic country, but you're seeing more. And there's a lot of young filmmakers, not even young, like established filmmakers popping up telling really interesting stories that you haven't heard before. It's why Adam McGoyan is so special, Adam and Arsene Kage, because they were telling stories that you weren't seeing a lot of in the early days. So they're kind of only a handful of people who are doing that. Also, we're the country of David Cronenberg. So I grew up going to see David Cronenberg movies at drive-ins when I was 7. So we have a really diverse palette here, not just ethnically, but in terms of the interest in stories. And I think that bodes well for our future as storytellers. Yeah,
I see that more and more each year at the festival, so that's good to see. You will certainly have no problem filling an hour with pal Eric McCormack. That's this weekend. Hey, if I had another half hour, we could talk about everything you're doing right now, but I want to say the show is...
I play music and I try to keep you company. No matter what the medium, that's all I try to do.
We will mention, though, your Apple radio show, Stroumboulopoulos. This is fabulous, as I said at the opening. 165 countries, people can hear this.
It's pretty fun, you know. We're on 5 days a week, couple of hours, play music generally from the last 30 years, and one of the things Apple said when they asked me to come on board when we were launching the station was, the music matters, but the artist matters, and tell stories and be human. It's really strange in this landscape of media for a person in media to say, be human. That matters. Heart matters, and I've been there for a year plus now, and it's borne out to be true. And I really appreciate the fact that they give me the microphone for a couple hours every day to tell these stories
and
play
let you do what you want.
Yeah, and play music and interview people, and we have Buffy St. Marie on the show, and then we have, you know, heavy metal bands on the show, so it's pretty fun.
That's, again, diversification, man. That's fabulous. We appreciate you stopping by the studios here at Market One. Good luck in Whistler. I'll see you up there. Cheers, pal. Thank you, George Stroumboulopoulos. I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.